Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
I saw this story, and I definitely wanted to include it here. A former Alabama police officer, Michael Kilgore, has been charged with conspiracy to distribute controlled substances after being involved in a scheme to plant drugs on innocent motorists who were in traffic stops. He's agreed to plead guilty, so he did this, the Center Alabama officer. Kilgore manipulated a driver into cooperating with his scheme, which involved planting drugs under vehicles and then discovering them, is in quotes, during sham traffic stops. You see, when there are bad police officers, they should go to jail. And this is a bad police officer who needs to go to jail. And luckily, they caught this guy before he did even more harm. And this, of course, has a ripple effect throughout the community where people don't trust the police. They don't trust authority. You got to throw the book at these guys, and you got to do it hard.
Number 6.
5 individuals, including 2 doctors and Matthew Perry's personal assistant, have been charged in connection with the actor's death. Now, this is getting a lot of attention because he's a celebrity, obviously, and they want to bring light to this, that his addiction started at a doctor's office. I mean, that's where it all started. And, you know, this addiction of his went on for a very long time. His assistant allegedly injected him with ketamine, and that contributed to his death by drowning in a hot tub. According to the Los Angeles Medical Examiner, these 5 individuals are going to face very heavy charges, and obviously they've been arrested. And it is very, very, very scary here. They are emphasizing this because the defendants exploited Perry's addiction issues. One of them was called the Queen of Ketamine. And when the judge hears that, she's going to say, could you be any more guilty?
Number 5.
Former President Donald Trump's legal team is requesting a delay in his September 18th sentencing hearing in New York versus Trump until after the 2024 presidential election, citing concerns of election interference in the case where Trump was convicted on all counts of falsifying business records in a case led by Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, a obviously politically motivated case that was meant to give Kamala Harris, at the time Joe Biden, the ability to say, I'm running against a felon. He's been convicted 34 times. And it worked. And now they get to say that. But Trump's lawyers argue for dismissals based on recent Supreme Court rulings. And then they're arguing that the immunity applies in this situation as well. At least that's the argument they're going to make here. Now, should he be sentenced before that is heard? Probably not. Will they kick this aside? I'm guessing so, and I'm guessing he will be sentenced.
Number 4.
As Vice President Kamala Harris gets ready to actually give some positions. Sounds familiar for Kamala Harris. It is obvious she is ready to flip-flop on major policy issues, according to Fox News, as CNN anchors spent yesterday imploring Harris to run away from President Joe Biden and said that partnering with Biden makes them feel, quote, uncomfortable, end quote. Why? Because Biden sucks, and they know it. And she can just be a completely different person. Bidenomics is great. I will stop Bidenomics. Harris is trying to shift away from some of her previously held far-left policy positions, like mandatory assault rifle buybacks or gun seizures, fracking immigration, eliminating private health care, and a federal jobs guarantee. At the same time, she's also running towards her left-wing positions when it comes to the economy, but we'll get to that here in just a second.
Number 3.
U.S. Representative Dale Strong, a Republican out of Monrovia, is demanding answers from the Department of Homeland Security regarding the increasing Haitian immigration in North Alabama, particularly in cities like Athens. Strong criticized DHS policies under the Biden administration, blaming them for overwhelming public resources and contributing to that large influx of migrants in Alabama. It was Sylacauga, Marshall County. We've heard about Coleman as well. This has been an issue. He asked for several responses from DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas on the number of immigrants entering their parole programs, their access to federal benefits, and the effectiveness of these repatriation efforts. I don't think you're going to get any answers out of Mayorkas. The guy has been a terrible Department of Homeland Security secretary, and there's been no penalty for that at all. None.
Number 2.
Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz, or Lion Tim. How come Donald Trump hasn't done that yet? Why have you gone to Lion Tim? That's a good one. Lion Tim slammed Alabama United States Senator Tommy Tuberville at a Boston fundraiser the other day, but Tuberville hit back. He stated he wanted to be the anti-Tommy Tuberville, which, Tommy Tuberville's pretty plain spoken. Calls it like it is. Tim Walz lies all the damn time. So, yeah, okay, you can be the anti-Tuberville. Referring to the Alabama United States Senator and former Auburn coach, implying he was a well-known coach and not a random high school assistant before he was removed for lying about being deaf during a DUI arrest. Go look it up. That happened. Tuberville responded on social media, noting that Walz deserted his military unit before it deployed to Iraq, mismanaged the 2020 protests in Minnesota, and had installed tampon dispensers in boys' bathrooms, and also referred to him as Tampon Tim. I think Lion Tim's a better nickname, personally. That's just me.
Now, time for the number 1 thing you'll be talking about today.
As former President Donald Trump held another press conference where he sparred with the media like he likes to do, he focused on the economy, but they took all of his off-ramps and made that the story. I'm allowed to attack Kamala Harris. I should be allowed to do personal attacks, he said. Birds are killed by windmills, he said. Ignoring all the other stuff he said that, Kamala Harris is a communist, and that's exactly what she is. And because communist ideas, they're being thrown out by Kamala Harris. She has 2 new terrible ideas. It's actually way more than that. $25K for new homeowners is all that's going to do is drive the value of my house up $25K and cause more inflation. It's also going after local grocery stores under the guise of price control. And she's coming out against price gouging without referencing any. Now, surely this scheme will please voters who are morons, who don't understand how inflation works, or that grocery stores have are you ready for this? A 1.2% profit margin. Did you know that? 1.2%. Most people don't know that. Do you know what Walmart's profit margin was last year? Do you know this? Now, this is significant if we're talking about against that 1.2. It was actually 3.2. But everyone thinks it's far more. Everyone thinks that it's far more than 3.2%. Walmart's profit margin is 3.2. Regular grocery store is 1.2%. But if there is price gouging, you think they'd talk about it. But anyway, the ideas are so bad that even the Washington Post ran a column yesterday declaring when your opponent calls you a communist, maybe don't propose price controls. She did not take that advice, and she came out this morning with price controls, $25K for homes. She also said that she is going to cancel medical debt. So they're going to, if you have a medical debt, they're going to cancel that. And they're going to do some other things as well. More subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, which I thought made healthcare more affordable, but apparently we need government subsidies for it. So obviously the solution to all these failed big government programs are bigger big government programs. Vote for Kamala Harris if you want that, because that's what you're going to get. All right, if you'd like to weigh in here, of course, you may do so. And there's always ample opportunity for that right here, right now. 866-494-WVNN. That is the ScoutPestControl.com WVNN Hot Take text line. Get your questions in for 10 with him as well. We'll do that. There is the QC Connects free speech phone lines at 866-494-WVNN. And email me.
You've got mail.
DowntownRescueMission.org. Email inbox at Dale@WVNN.com. We'll be right back.
Get WVNN's Dale Jackson 7 Things You Should Be Talking About Today right in your email box every morning. Go to YellowHammerNews.com and sign up today.